Thank you very much for having me along. It's great to see so many people out wanting to have this conversation about what Ireland is going to look like in the future. I was looking down at my phone and will be looking down at my phone throughout this because I'm actually on call at the moment, so technically I should be watching BBC Newsline to see what Arlene Foster has said now, but I've told my colleagues in Dublin that I'm here, so I wasn't like, Tommy, let me speak next. I think that it's interesting for me because I work on a freelance basis mainly for outlets that are based in Dublin, and I do most of the northern sort of side of stuff for them, so you have to kind of keep your eye on what's happening in London, what's happening in Dublin, what's happening in Belfast as well. I think that whenever I looked at the question, after Brexit, is United Ireland inevitable? I googled inevitable because I wanted to drill down on the exact meaning, because I get what Tommy's saying about nothing's inevitable, we don't know what's going to happen, but when you look at it, it's certain to happen, unavoidable, inescapable, unpreventable, something's going to be for sure. And in my mind, I think Irish unity was always going to happen eventually. I just think that Brexit has accelerated that conversation. I think that Irish unity is on the agenda like it's sort of never been before, in terms of the sort of my editor sending me out to talk to different people, and the type of people that are engaging in conversations about this is changing. Obviously you have the people who are set in their ideas, they're set unionists, they're set Republicans, but there's that big sort of lump in the middle, the soft nationalists, the soft unionists, the centre ground people who are starting to sort of be more open about to the idea of it, or to the idea of even talking about it. So I think that there would be a lot of detail that would need to be worked out about it, and I think it's a question of when it will happen, and not a question of if it will happen. I think that whenever you look to what happened in the Scottish independence referendum, I lived in Glasgow for 5 years, and the majority of my friends were yes voters, but there was a couple of them that were no voters, and the reason that they told me that they were no voters wasn't necessarily because they were really committed unionists. It was because it hadn't been laid out for them clearly enough exactly what yes meant in terms of the economy and other issues. So I think that's something for Republicans to learn from as we're going forward. Now there's been the border poll question. Everybody's talking about when's it going to be, and I remember being up at Stormont. It was a year or so ago, and somebody, one of the reporters, asked Jerry Adams, when would you like a border poll, and he said yesterday. So, Sinn Féin will always say, yes, we want the border poll now, we want it now, and obviously after some back and forward with Mary Lou earlier this year, the position for them is if there's a no-deal Brexit, then that's something that they will be looking to. Obviously that's, it would be interesting to find out what the question on that was, but I think that what Tommy had mentioned about the decline of the SLP and the rise of Sinn Féin, and at the last Westminster election, voters had the option to vote for the SLP politicians that would take their seat, and they decided not to do that. Now, every time I bring this up, people vote for people for different reasons, but my discussion back to that always is, well, it clearly wasn't important enough for people to vote for the SLP in that position, and I think sort of nationalists turning their back on Westminster for the first time is a really sort of clear indication that they don't really care too much about representation at Westminster. Nobody's even really that sort of excited or jumping up and down at this £1 billion that was secured through the DUP Tory confidence and supply arrangement, because we're kind of just as a people we're like, meh, it's underinvestment in this place has been an issue, and nobody seems to get too excited even whenever there's a big money boost. But I think that what's happened over the last year or two with the DUP, I think that Arlene Foster has been a better sort of recruiter for a United Ireland than any of the other political parties have been. I think that people were voting not so much, the increased turnout amongst other parties wasn't necessarily because of a huge sudden interest in let's vote for these parties. I think it was to send a message to the DUP that you sort of can't get away with being disrespectful to your neighbours. And I think that the issue around a border poll is, as I said earlier, that there's people who know what they're doing. There's people, I'm a unionist, I'm going to vote to remain in the union, I'm a Republican, I'm obviously going to vote for Irish unity, but I think that there's a sort of swathe of polite Republicans, people that maybe would have been SDLP voters before, people that were comfortable enough within a Northern Ireland setting that are sort of finding their voice and starting to speak up about that. So I think it's becoming a more obvious conversation, but I think that, you know, back to what Tommy was saying about inevitability, I think that the Scottish example shows that you can't sort of just sit back. You have to work at it, and you have to sort of flesh out, you know, are we going to take, you know, the best bits of the health service here in the Republic, you know, how would it actually work out, set it out for people what they're actually voting for.